A Roman emperor who ruled during plague and war wrote a private journal that was never meant to be published. Nearly 2,000 years later, it's still changing lives. Here are 5 lessons from Marcus Aurelius that you can use today. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome from 161 to 180 AD. While commanding armies and managing an empire, he kept a private journal we now call meditations. These weren't polished writings for the public. They were personal reminders written in Greek, often during military campaigns. The book is divided into 12 sections, and each contains raw, unfiltered thoughts about how to live well despite chaos. What makes meditations powerful is its honesty. Marcus was writing to himself, struggling with the same things we do: anxiety, frustration, mortality. Let's look at 5 specific passages. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the foundation of Stoic philosophy in one sentence. Marcus is reminding himself, and us, that we waste massive amounts of energy trying to control things we can't control. You can't control whether you get the promotion, whether traffic is bad, whether someone likes you, or whether the economy crashes. But you have complete control over how you respond to all of it. Marcus ruled an empire but knew he couldn't control everything within it. Plague spread despite his efforts. Enemies attacked despite his diplomacy. So he focused on what he could control: his own mind, his own choices, his own character. The practical application: next time you're stressed, ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, redirect that energy to what is. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work, as a human being. What do I have to complain of, if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Marcus wrote this while on a military campaign, probably exhausted and cold. He had every reason to stay under the blankets and avoid another brutal day. But he's asking himself a fundamental question: what am I actually complaining about? Notice he doesn't say, think positive or, be grateful. He's being practical and honest. You were born to do human things, to work, to contribute, to fulfill your nature. Why resist that? This isn't a toxic productivity culture. It's about aligning with what you actually are. You're not a plant. You're not meant to just exist passively. You have a mind that can think, hands that can build, a voice that can help others. Marcus is reminding himself that resistance to the day is resistance to being human. The difficulty of getting up doesn't mean you shouldn't, it means you're about to do something that requires effort, which is exactly what you're built for. Try this tomorrow. When you don't want to get up, ask yourself Marcus's question: what do I have to complain about if I'm about to do what I was made for? Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This one cuts deep because Marcus is calling himself out. Even with access to the greatest philosophers and all the wisdom of Rome, he caught himself overthinking instead of acting. We do the same thing. We watch videos about productivity, but don't start the project. We read about fitness but don't go to the gym. We learn about communication, but avoid the difficult conversation. The gap isn't knowledge, you already know what you should be doing. The gap is execution. Marcus is telling himself to stop consuming wisdom and start living it. This is uncomfortable because it removes the excuse. You can't say, I don't know what to do, anymore. You know. The question is, will you do it? The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is one of Marcus's most famous lines, and it's deeply practical. He's saying that obstacles aren't just things to overcome, they're the actual path forward. Think about it, if your business idea fails, that failure is teaching you what works. If someone rejects you, that rejection is filtering for better matches. If you get sick, that illness is teaching you about health. Marcus faced constant obstacles: war, betrayal, plague, and political enemies. He could have seen these as roadblocks to being a good emperor. Instead, He saw them as the exact challenges that would make him a good emperor. The obstacle is revealing what you need to work on. It's showing you where to develop strength. Without resistance, there's no growth. The way forward is through the difficulty, not around it. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Someone wrongs you. Your first instinct is to hurt them back, to prove they're terrible, to win the conflict. Marcus says that's how you actually lose, because you become like them. He dealt with assassination attempts, corruption, and treachery constantly. His revenge? Living with integrity anyway. Staying rational when others were chaotic. Being just when others were cruel. This takes more strength than retaliation. Anyone can be petty. Anyone can match low behavior with low behavior. It takes real power to stay above it. When you respond to bad behavior with good character, you win in the way that matters, you remain yourself. You don't let someone else's weakness change who you are. Here's what's interesting about Marcus Aurelius: he had everything. Power, wealth, respect, legacy. And yet his private writings reveal someone constantly working on himself, constantly fighting his own mind. That tells you something important. None of this gets easier just because you're successful. The Emperor of Rome still had to remind himself to control what he could control. Still had to force himself out of bed. Still had to choose character over revenge. If Marcus needed these reminders, you also definitely do. And that's not depressing, it's liberating. You're not broken because you struggle. You're human. The struggle is the point. These 5 lessons aren't theory. They're tools. Control what you can. Start your day with purpose. Stop planning and start doing. Use obstacles as fuel and be better than those who hurt you. Until next time, keep pushing.